Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me carefully. 2025 is not about them. It's not about the haters. It's not about the doubters. It's not even about your friends or your family. This year is about one thing and one thing only: you. If you're going to win in 2025, you've got to make a decision right now to focus only on yourself. You've been pouring into people who don't pour back. You've been investing time in conversations that don't pay dividends. You've been showing up for others while showing up halfway for yourself. That stops now. Because in this new season, the greatest asset in your life is not your job, not your car, not your network. It's you. The person you become will determine the life you create. So hear me on this. When you invest in yourself, everything changes. Your confidence changes, your competence changes, your income changes. Some of y'all are still waiting on permission to go to the next level, but nobody's coming. You're the CEO of your life. You either run it or let it run you. And let's get one thing straight. You can't mind your business if you're all up in everybody else's. Some of you are out here watching the highlight reel of other people's lives and wondering why you feel behind. Let me free you. Comparison is a distraction dressed up like motivation. You don't need to keep up with them. You need to keep up with the highest version of yourself. This year, delete the apps if you have to, shut out the noise, and go deep on one thing. Master something. Mastery creates magnetism. People get paid not because they dabble, but because they dominate. Focus is the new flex in 2025. Not being everywhere, not doing everything, just being dangerous in your lane. And while we're here, let me challenge you. Stop setting goals. I said what I said. Stop setting goals. Goals are cute. Goals are weak. You know what changes lives? Standards. Standards tell the truth. A goal says, I want to make 6 figures. A standard says, I don't live below 6 figures. You see the difference? Stop hoping, start becoming. Because if you want real transformation, you've got to build from the inside out. You don't need a new environment, you need a new mentality. You don't need new friends, you need new standards. You don't need more time, you need more clarity. Most people are busy trying to change the world without changing themselves. But the world doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to who you are. So I came to remind you, you're the assignment this year. Your growth, your focus, your health, your wealth, your purpose. Everything you're praying for is already in motion, but you've got to become the version of you that can handle it. No distractions, no comparisons, no compromises. In 2025, focus only on yourself and watch how the world starts focusing on you. Let's get it. You are the asset, not your degree, not your resume, not your connections, you. And the moment you understand that, everything changes, because as long as you see value outside of yourself, you'll keep chasing, you'll keep begging for opportunities, you'll keep compromising your standards, your time, and your peace to be accepted by people who don't even respect themselves. But when you realize you are the asset, you stop waiting and start building. You stop apologizing and start owning your lane. You stop discounting your voice, your gifts, your presence, because now you understand you are the source, not the supplement. You bring value into the room. You're not just another number on a spreadsheet or a body in a seat. You're the reason the table matters. Too many people are trying to upgrade everything around them, new car, new clothes, new title, but never upgrading themselves. It doesn't matter what you put around a person if what's inside them is still average. Your environment might look expensive, but if your mindset is broke, eventually it all crumbles. So don't get it twisted. The biggest return on investment in your life won't come from stocks, crypto, or real estate. It'll come from you developing you. And let me make this real clear. When you develop yourself, everything else follows. When you increase your value, money flows easier. When you grow in wisdom, doors open faster. When you elevate your mindset, relationships get better. The external world mirrors your internal standard. If your life isn't growing, it's not because the opportunity doesn't exist. It's because you haven't become the person who can handle the opportunity. So in 2025, stop looking for the plug and start becoming the plug. Don't ask who's going to support you. Support yourself so well they have no choice but to notice. Be undeniable, be unshakable, be obsessed with your evolution, because the person you're becoming, that person is the one who changes everything. You are the asset, protect it, grow it, bet on it, and in due time, it'll pay off bigger than anything you've ever imagined. Mind your business, literally, not just in the sense of staying out of gossip and drama, but in the sense of actually treating your life like the enterprise it is. Your time, that's currency. Your energy, that's equity. Your attention, that's your capital. And some of you are going bankrupt because you keep spending your most valuable resources on things that don't produce a return. Every minute you waste watching other people build their brand is a minute you could have spent building yours. Every time you scroll, compare, or criticize, you're moving further away from what you're really here to do. You weren't put on this earth to be a spectator. You were put here to create, to build, to leave legacy. But you can't build legacy when you're too busy being a fan of someone else's. So let me tell you plain, your life is your business. Your body is part of the business. Your mind is part of the business. Your finances, your faith, your focus, all of that is on the balance sheet. And if you wouldn't let somebody walk into your actual company and waste your money, why do you let people walk into your day and waste your purpose? This year, it's time to cut the distractions. It's time to stop trying to manage other people's opinions and start managing your own growth. If it doesn't build you, bless you, or better you, it's not your business. Let people talk. Let them misunderstand. Let them question your moves. You're not here to explain your process. You're here to build an empire. And don't get it twisted. This isn't just about making money. This is about building something that will outlive you. Whether it's a brand, a book, a business, a mission, you've got to start treating your vision like it matters, because it does. But until you do, nobody else will. So mind your business in 2025. Mind it like your life depends on it, because it does. Everything you want is on the other side of your discipline. Everything you're praying for is waiting on your consistency. So lock in, build in silence, protect your vision. And don't just work on the dream, work like it's already real. Comparison is a distraction. It's one of the most subtle and destructive ways to rob yourself of power. You think you're getting inspired, but you're actually getting drained. You're not just observing someone else's progress, you're questioning your own. And every time you do it, a piece of your confidence erodes. A piece of your clarity gets fogged up. A piece of your momentum slows down. You weren't designed to copy, compete, or keep up. You were designed to become. But becoming takes focus, and you can't focus on your lane if your head is turned sideways, watching what somebody else is doing. Comparison convinces you that you're behind, even when you're right on schedule. It tells you you're not good enough, even when you're operating in grace. It whispers that you're missing something when the truth is, you've already got everything you need to win. Social media has turned people into spectators of their own lives. You wake up and check your phone before you check in with yourself. You scroll through highlight reels and mistake them for real life. You see someone else's milestone and suddenly forget how far you've come, but you don't know the cost behind their success. You don't see the struggle behind the smile, and even if you did, it still wouldn't matter, because their path is not your assignment. You've got to remember who you are and what you're here to do. You've got to block out the noise and double down on your own mission. Your story is being written chapter by chapter, and you're out here trying to copy someone else's book. No, write yours, own yours, celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Run your race like you're the only one on the track, because in truth you are. If it takes longer for you, that's fine. If your route looks different, good. If nobody understands it yet, even better, because when the vision finally manifests, they won't be able to deny it. But you'll never get there trying to measure your life with someone else's ruler. So cut off the comparison, reclaim your focus, and remember, what's meant for you will never require you to look sideways. Master one thing first. That's the secret most people overlook, because we're living in a world addicted to multitasking, to dabbling, to doing 10 things halfway instead of one thing with excellence. But the truth is, you don't get paid for being a jack of all trades. You get paid for being the master of one. You don't become valuable by being busy. You become valuable by being dangerous in a specific area. Everybody wants to be everything all at once. Coach, speaker, author, influencer, investor, all at the same time. And because they're chasing too many things, they never become great at anything. But the world doesn't reward generalists. It rewards specialists. It rewards people who go deep, not just wide. So if you're tired of getting average results, stop living like an amateur. Pick your lane and own it. Mastery isn't glamorous. It's not shiny. It's not viral. It looks like doing the same thing over and over until you're so good they can't ignore you. It looks like discipline, like repetition, like turning down distractions. Mastery is the compound interest of focus. And the people who rise to the top, they're not the most talented. They're the most consistent. They made a decision to stick with something long enough for it to work. You've got to kill the urge to jump ship every time it gets boring or hard. Most people quit just before they get good. They switch careers, switch brands, switch strategies because they don't see results. But you can't harvest what you never let take root. You don't need a new path. You need deeper commitment to the one you're on. So ask yourself, what's the one thing that if I mastered it would change everything? What's the one skill, the one offer, the one strength that I can build an entire life around? Focus on that, build around that, because once you master one thing, doors start opening, opportunities come to you, you become magnetic, you become trusted, and that one thing becomes the foundation for everything else you want to do. Stop trying to go viral, start trying to go deep, stop trying to do it all, start doing one thing with world-class excellence. Mastery multiplies your influence, your income, and your impact, but only if you commit to the process. Don't be in a rush to look successful. Be in a rush to become undeniable. Master one thing first, then scale the rest. Set standards, not goals. Because goals are based on hope. Standards are based on identity. A goal says, I want to be fit this year. A standard says, I don't miss workouts, period. A goal says, I want to make 6 figures. A standard says, I don't operate below a certain income level because that's who I am. Goals are optional. Standards are non-negotiable. And that's the shift you've got to make in 2025. Stop living by wishful thinking and start living by what you expect from yourself. Because when you treat your goals like suggestions, that's exactly how life will treat your potential. But when you raise your standard, when you decide this is just how I move now, everything around you starts to align. See, goals are good for vision. They give you direction, but they don't give you power. Power comes from standards. Power comes from the decisions you make when nobody's watching, the work you put in when you don't feel motivated, the level you refuse to drop below even when life gets hard. Goals give you something to reach for. Standards raise the floor so you never fall below who you say you are. People ask, how do I stay consistent? You don't. You become consistent by making it a standard. Consistency is not about motivation. It's about who you are. The people who succeed don't have more discipline. They just made fewer decisions. They don't ask themselves every day, do I feel like it? They already decided. They don't negotiate with their standards. They honor them. And here's the thing, standards don't come from hype. They come from pain, from clarity, from deciding that what you've tolerated before is no longer acceptable. You don't change your life by setting another goal and hoping this is the year you stick to it. You change your life by drawing a line in the sand and saying, that version of me is no longer allowed to lead. Raise your standards and your habits will follow. Raise your standards and your circle will shift. Raise your standards and your outcomes will start to look like your worth. This is the year to stop being motivated and start being committed, to stop dreaming and start deciding. Because when your standards are high enough, you don't need to chase success, you attract it. Set the standard, live the standard, become the standard. Everything else will catch up. Build from the inside out. Because if the foundation isn't solid, nothing you stack on top of it will last. It doesn't matter how good it looks on the outside. If the inside is cracked, it's only a matter of time before it collapses. And that's the problem most people face. They're more focused on appearance than alignment, more concerned with how things look than how things are. You want success? Cool, but can you sustain it? Can your character carry what your talent is attracting? Can your mindset handle the pressure that comes with elevation? You're not built internally, external winds will break you. That's why building from the inside out is non-negotiable in 2025. Because this isn't just about building a business or a brand, it's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't crumble when life applies pressure. Too many people are trying to renovate their circumstances before they've remodeled their beliefs. They want a new result but still think like the old version of themselves. But transformation doesn't start with your environment, it starts with your identity. You don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. And if you want different outcomes, you have to operate from a different standard internally. That means developing discipline when no one's watching. It means cleaning up your self-talk, upgrading your inner circle, healing from the stuff you thought you could bury. It means being honest with yourself about what's holding you back and doing the work day by day to release it, because nothing grows long-term if it's not rooted in truth. This is why chasing shortcuts doesn't work. You can't microwave internal growth. You can't fake peace. You can't fake purpose. You might be able to fake success for a while, but life will always test the structure. And if you didn't build it with integrity, it won't survive the weight of real responsibility. So this year, do the deep work, the quiet work, the boring work, strengthen your mindset, sharpen your spirit, fix the foundation, because when you're solid inside, the outside becomes effortless, confidence becomes natural, clarity becomes normal, and success becomes sustainable, not because you forced it, but because you were ready for it. Build from the inside out, and when the spotlight finds you, you won't fold. You'll shine because you'll know you didn't just create success, you became it. So here we are, standing at the edge of a new year, a new chapter, a new standard. And if you've really been listening, you already know this isn't just another motivational moment. This is a mandate, a call to cut the noise, shut the doors on distraction, and make you the priority. Because in 2025, the strategy is simple. Focus only on yourself. No more watching from the sidelines, no more waiting on permission, no more living by goals that don't reflect your identity. This is about raising your standards, mastering your gift, silencing comparison, and becoming the kind of person that success can't ignore. You're not here to impress the world, you're here to transform it. And that begins by transforming you. So, protect your energy, guard your time, build your life like it matters, because it does. And remember this, the version of you that's disciplined, focused, and committed, that version doesn't need hype. That version produces results. This is your year, not because something magical will happen, but because you're finally ready to happen to the world. Focus only on yourself in 2025 and let the results speak so loud, you don't have to say a word.